just waiting on Mr. Steve. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you guys so much. I know many of you have come back from first service, and some have lingered on here after second service to be here for this all hands keynote. And I want to especially thank those of you who are joining us online. This is a day I've been really waiting for with a lot of anticipation and excitement. And I want to start with, you've heard me talk about this a little bit, but I want to start today with why we call this all hands. Many of you have been to this before, and it had a different name, annual meeting. And we changed the name not to be hip or anything like that, but just to reflect the sincerity of this moment, not just this year, but every year. This is our Sunday to look ahead at the coming year and realize that we need all hands on deck. You know, God has called us to be a part of his church, and all of us are members of his body. All of us have a special role, a special place in his church. And if you're not participating, then we are lacking that. So what we're going to do over the next hour or so is we're going to be hearing from some of our ministry leaders. They're going to be sharing some exciting things that are coming up ahead. But also, I want you all to be thinking all throughout. You know, I don't want you sitting there going, oh, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds exciting, fun. We're doing that. Cool. Everybody should be thinking, how can I get involved? Where do I fit in this picture? And my hope is, you know, we've been working really hard that God will just inspire you today. That it'll just be obvious. Oh, I'm gonna join that team. That sounds awesome. Or, oh, that's something I've been waiting for. But also, if you're leaving here today and going, oh, this sounds exciting, but I don't know where I fit, that's where you need to come and see one of us as elders. That's really one of our most important jobs, our roles in the church, is to help shape you, help you on your journey to participating and growing in every aspect of your Christian faith. So as we go along, be asking that question, how can I get involved? Because we really do need all hands on deck. And to get us started, before we look ahead, we're going to take a few minutes and praise God and thank God for all the exciting things that he accomplished through this church in the past year. And no better person than Mitch Coleman to come up and guide us in that. Yeah. Start strong.
Yeah, there we go. Josh asked me to just come up and I don't know, my throat's not working very well today. I did get a COVID shot on Friday. I was one of the first in our district to get them. And yesterday I did not feel very good. I was like a COVID person yesterday, and today I feel great. But I'm glad that I did it, and I'll get the next one. And so I think that's what it was. I felt a lot of those things, and my throat isn't there. But things that we really are excited about from this last year and as we move forward is how many baptisms we've had. And just this year, just since Josh was here, we've had 6. And that's amazing, and we should all be happy and excited about that. And the cool part about it is that it wasn't anything magical. And sometimes I think that we think it's magic, that you gotta know a whole lot of stuff. You've got to be super knowledgeable in the Bible. You've got to know everything before you go and approach somebody. As we learned in our message today, come as the children. And the children know nothing, and they're open, and they want to hear about Christ, and we need to go there. And every one of us has that opportunity. Maybe you're not the final one. I got blessed this year because for whatever reason, I was the final one that asked the question, and they said yes. But I can tell you, you've been planting seeds in a lot of them for a long time. And, you know, and that's where you have to be. And I know God says that, and I think he's going to be totally happy with you if in one time you planted a seed one day that ended up being somebody who was baptized later, and you might not even know that that person was finally accepted Christ, but you're the one who planted the seed. And the way to plant seeds, and that's what we're here for today, is to talk about where we're headed. We need to leave this church every single day, every single time that we leave here, all week, wherever we work, whatever we do, really thinking about the opportunities that God provides us to talk to somebody about Christ. Who's your best friend? Have you talked to them about Christ? And sometimes you don't have to talk to them, you just have to pray about them. My best friend Buzz lives in Philomath, and I've told you this before. Some of you haven't heard it. Man, I prayed for Buzz for 21 years. And it took his dad finally passing away of cancer that Buzz opened up and said, I want to find out more about this. And I got the opportunity to go down and baptize Buzz. That's amazing. I want to tell you the time I went into Terry's driveway, and Terry knew about God, but he'd kind of not fallen away, but he just wasn't going to church and all that. And we had an event here, and I don't know, I'd been in and out of his driveway 100 times doing stuff with him and talking to him and all those things. And that day I said, Terry, what are you doing? We're having this great thing. Why don't you come? He goes, okay. Terry's been here ever since, and he's an elder in the church. And I don't want you for 1 second to think it's me. It takes us all. And that's what we're about today. The exciting stuff that's going to happen. We have a new minister. And I know, man, do I know, because I was in that committee the entire time, and we thought we knew what we were doing, and we looked at a ton of people, and we looked at a ton of applications, and we thought, oh, we've got this one guy out of Nebraska. Let's, go ahead and interview. And he was pretty good, but there just something wasn't right. And he realized it, and we realized it the same day. We called, and he said, well, I decided today too that that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be out here. Well, that's God. Josh had called Terry way back when we first started, clear back in June, and said, hey, I hear you guys are looking for a minister. I just want you to know that my wife and I are praying for you guys. We know God has someone who's picked for you, and you will find that person, and they'll be here. He wasn't looking for a job at the time. And in the process, when we ran out of candidates, Josh became a candidate. And all of it lined up way too well and too easy for it not to be God's choice. And so we're blessed now that we have Josh and Sarah, and we have them in place, and he's already hit the ground running. He's making phone calls. He's going to places. He's doing the things that we need to have done. All of us are the people he needs. And by the end of today, if you haven't figured out where you want to be working, you should be figuring that as we talk today. In what ministry team, in what area, where can you be the biggest asset? And we all are assets. And every time you're on a team, it could be worship, and you're planting a seed in someone's heart every single day. Every time you get up and sing, worship is about Christ and about God sending a message, and when is it going to hit? I remember I was sitting here because there wasn't anybody to preach, and so I preached that one morning, and Courtney was sitting in a seat, in the seat right there, and at the end of the service, she says, man, I thought you were preaching right at me, Mitch. Like you knew that that's what I was thinking, and I was preaching right at you. Well, I know Josh knows that that's what happens. And God gives us, we get up and talk, and everybody hears it just a little bit different. And it depends on where you're at. I was up here, and I was talking about tithing the other day, and tithing was about me and about my decision to make a conscious decision. For Ann and I, we made a conscious decision that whatever money we had that came in, we were going to pay 10%. That was us, right? Somebody that day said, "Were you talking straight at me?" And I said, "I wasn't talking straight at anybody. That's what God put on my heart, and that's where it's at." And we need to make those commitments. This whole thing, when you see the budget today, is about us making a commitment to Christ, to God, that we're gonna bring people to know Christ. And that's gonna take all of us to get up, to get off our duffs, to say we're committed to tithing, to giving the money that you ask us to give. And when we have extra, that we're gonna give you extra, so we can have heaters, so we can have a facility that we're proud of and that everybody else wants to be at. That's what we're about today. I think starting with the 6 baptisms, that's only the start. How many baptisms are we going to have at the end of the year? But that's every one of us right here in this room. If you're online, we all have the same obligation. Who is it you're going to start praying for? Pick one person. If each one of us brought one person to Christ this year, and don't think, they'll never do it, because you don't know. You don't know when you're going to say the right thing. They're in the right position. Something's happened and they're ready. We can't avoid asking the question. You got to do it. But if every one of us in this room, if you're sitting here, if you're online today, if you brought one, we'd be twice as big as we are today. What a problem to have. And I don't think there's one of us that doesn't believe we could bring one person to know Christ this year. I just don't think that's there, okay? I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about where we are in the church. I'm excited about Josh and Sarah. I'm excited about all of you. And when Vanessa said, "I love you, I love to see you here," I don't say that lightly. I love y'all. And I love to see you here, and I'd love to see even more people here. And I worry every day about the people who used to go here who don't go, the people who are online that we don't get to see. We want to make sure that you're here. We want to make sure that we do the things for you, for everyone here. But there's so many people that are lost and so many people that need us. And that's where we want to be. Okay?
All right, I know that we're not like the most charismatic movement in the world, but I'm just going to say one more time, I'm going to parrot that. There were 6 baptisms last year. That's a reason to get excited. That's a reason to get excited. Thank you, Mitch. You know, Mitch is right. Every single day I get up in the morning and I think, how in the world can I kick Satan's butt today in this community? And that's why I'm making those phone calls and visiting folks and just annoying the heck out of some of you, saying, "Are you going to join this team? Are you going to get involved here?" Steve knows that. I've never annoyed someone more in the last 2 months than Steve back there, and I'm so grateful because Steve has just grown. Steve and Jake and that team has grown this streaming ministry to be a streaming ministry. Now we're dreaming new dreams. I annoy Lori Dudley every single minute of every single day. And now that you've had a chance to warm up your hands, please give her a hand, because this whole meeting is her work. The whole meeting is her work. And Steve and Pat making those delicious sandwiches and joining that. And there are going to be some people that join me on stage today. Your fearless leader, Vanessa Brooks, who just will run through a wall for all of you and then say, "Where's the next one that I can run through?" I'm so grateful for her. And Connor Knox, who is a person that I just constantly every week think, what's the hardest problem we could have at this church? And let's throw that at him. And he just says, give me more, give me more, give me more problems. So these are the people that God has blessed me with. These are your leaders. They serve you. Leadership in this church is about service. We are servant leaders. We serve you. And we serve you so that you'll go out in this community and serve others. That's what it's all about. And I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful for you. And we are so excited to share some dreams we have for this year. And let me just be clear. We're just getting started. This just scratches the surface, what you're going to hear about today. It's not everything. We're just getting started. Speaking of getting started, let's start with the theme of our ministry this year. Assemble together. Assemble together. I apologize in advance, but I'm really not sorry. You were going to hear those words from me so many times from our elders. Assemble together. We are coming off of a year where assembling is difficult. Gathering is difficult. Sometimes this is downright illegal, mandated against. And I want to be really clear. I gave all of our team the 11th commandment from on high. Thou shalt not mention COVID-19. And then I'm going to be like a hypocrite and break it. But here's the deal. We understand there's a health crisis. We understand there's a global pandemic. We get that. We're very, very sensitive to it. Many of us in this church have had it. And we are watching all of the developments very closely. Very closely. So understand, whether you are online or here, we take everyone's safety very seriously. That's part of my calling as a minister, is for you. That said, we need to restore the gatherings in our church. We need to restore the fellowship that is so vital to us as a community. And this past year saw so many churches fighting amongst themselves about what those gatherings should be, because they were all looking at what had been. We're going to start dreaming and innovating. What do our gatherings look like in 2021? And we are going to move forward without the shackles of worrying about COVID-19. We're going to understand it's there. And if we are affected, if there is a mandate that's held down, if there is anything that is meant to slow progress in one area, we already have plans on how to shift and continue in ministry. That's what we mean by assembling together. We are going to walk through 2021 coming back together. And, what I'm inspired by is the scripture. In Matthew 18 through 19 says, I tell you, this is Jesus' words. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed into heaven. Again, truly I tell you that if two of you on earth agree on anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. When we come together as a community, we have incredible power. Power. And it's not displayed by huge, grandiose numbers. Sometimes, literally what the scripture Jesus is saying is, sometimes just it's in the collective of two people working towards a project, working towards a problem, praying for each other. When we come together, the Holy Spirit blesses that union. And so whether we have physical gatherings or gatherings online or whatever we do, when we assemble together, when it's not about us as individuals, but about us as a collective, as a church, the Holy Spirit blesses that and we have real power. And so later on, the writer of Hebrews says in Hebrews 10, let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together. And I want to thank those of you, especially online, who are watching this, because you are making these words true. Meeting together does not always mean, hey, we are all in the same physical space. But it does mean that we worship together. We are Dayton Christian Church. So this is our theme. This is what we are about all year long. How can we come together? Mitch beautifully set up. How do we come together, assemble together to do God's work? You excited? All right. The first person I want to introduce, and this is proving those words, that you can be here without even actually being here. The first person that I want to introduce is your leader of missions, Sharon Hawley. And we told Sharon that she could only have 10 minutes to speak. And nobody believed that could happen. And Terry even said it to her face, I don't think you can do it, Sharon. And because Sharon is fearless and can do anything. Here she is to prove us wrong, all right?
Moving forward into our missions area for 2021, we have to really look back at what we did for missions in 2020. Many things have changed over this year, but yet many things have stayed the same. In the area of missions, which is one of my passions, just in case you didn't know, is the need for the Word of God to go forth to all the world. In the missionaries we support, there has not been a stoppage. Things just are a different format. Locally, it's been in fixing and giving out lunches, helping in the fire disaster relief in Gates, shopping for those who can't get out, and providing meals for others. At Boise Bible College, it's been an online as well as presently now their in-class education. With Matt and Jan King in Kenya, it's been online classes until now the return of the students to RVI. In both Missions of Hope and Global Vision Citadel missions, there has been a focus of educational formats as well as providing food for the most needy. Children in both countries are now back in class and are able to receive 2 meals a day, which is so important. Pastor Va in Haiti, in the city of Carrefour, has continued to preach the Word of God within the restrictions of their government. They initially had to allow only a certain number of people in church. We're used to that. And so what they did is they moved to 2 services, and when the number of people entered the church, they shut the door. But people stayed out on the steps and by the windows so they could still worship and so they could still hear the Word of God. Those doors now are open and anyone can come into church. So we look and see how God has blessed all of these endeavors abundantly. Like I said, there's no stoppage with God. Last February, we were the last mission team to visit Mohi. We did it with great joy, and oh, did we have fun. And we are now getting ready to put in place the next trip for February 2022. If you want to go, let me know. We will have a meeting soon. Sadly, the Haiti trip was postponed, and this year's is still on hold. But we will go again, and if you want to go on that trip, let me know. There are 2 different focuses for these 2 mission trips. That's why I can go on both of them. And you are welcome also. Cindy has the opportunity to be involved in a mission trip to Thailand with the focus on deaf ministry. I'm excited for her, and we have the opportunity to help send her on her way. So watch for ways to help. I will let you know. Operation Christmas Child was in full swing, with 485 boxes sent just from here. I'm super excited that my boxes went to Haiti. So if you know where yours went, please let me know or let Lori know so we can post those. We have much work to do here as well, and we will need your ideas, your help, your prayers, and your support. So don't be bashful. Jump in and get involved. You can even join the mission team. Just let me know, or I just might corner you. And by the way, we have the opportunity to help meet some current needs for Moby. If you have a wedding dress that you want to find a good home for, we are collecting them to send for a ministry that helps provide for couples to get married. Remember Keith Ham being excited about the camp that they are working on, Aganza? Well, they're going to need sheets for all the bunk beds. So if you have twin sheets just taking up room in a closet, bring them in and we will get them to the right place. And if you want to, you can buy new sheets as well. We'll take those. We will be finding ways to help with lunches again, and yes, we will need your help. We are a church with the mission to serve others and to share the gospel. It is a we organization, and the blessings are countless. Have a great day, and go missions.
Under 5 minutes, Terry. I wish I could just drop the mic right now on Sharon's behalf. Under 5 minutes. Don't tell you that nothing is, or something's impossible, because Sharon just proved it. We are a church with a heart full of missions. We are. And we are inspired by some of the stories that we've heard in the field from this past year. A year that has been difficult, not just for those of us in our state and our country, all over the world. You know, during our missions meeting, Sharon let us know one of our partners has seen 150 baptisms since the start of the pandemic. Isn't that incredible? Doesn't that just leave you stunned? 150 baptisms. We got a lot of work to do to catch up. That's what I was thinking. We got to catch up with that. One of the reasons why Sarah and I were so excited to come to this church was your heart for missions. And it's been evident for years here. And the blessings we've seen in the field are just countless. And now, and it's reflected in our budget. And I couldn't be more excited about that. We're taking that focus local. And we're starting to ask ourselves, let's be missionaries to Yamhill the same way. There was a time in this church, she's not here to tell the story, so I will tell it for her. There was a time when someone came to Sharon and said, we could never go on a mission trip. We could never do that. And we all know Sharon Hawley. Oh, yes, we can. And they did. And there are too many of us who say, like Mitch said, I don't know if I could tell someone about the gospel. Yes, you can. And if you're really concerned, scared, you come see us, and we'll put the training in so that we're all serving as missionaries in this mission field that he's given us to live in. All right? Okay. Coming up next is Mr. Connor Knox to tell us about family ministries in 2021.
Hello there. Hope you're all having a good time or learning some new ways to get involved. And I'm about to tell you all some amazing things that we are building here for our family ministry and even more ways to get involved. So at our family ministry, we are building our family ministry right now. We are building in so many new and incredible ways. We are building up our children's ministry on Sundays. We are building up our nursery. We are building up our youth ministry as well. And we're going to need all of you. That means if you can hear me right now, we need you, all of you. We need so many people for all the things that we're doing this year and for the years to come. And so I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to see just a little bit. We're going to show you just a little bit what this all looks like this year. So, one of the first things I want to talk to you, though, about isn't children's ministry. I want to talk to you first about our youth ministry. We're building this new program on Sundays, which we're sort of already got kick-started. We're calling it our mentorship program. See, this program is going to be a more focused youth ministry than we normally do on Sundays. We're planning to have many different leaders of all sorts of different kinds to be able to have more personalized lessons for our kids. We're planning on having smaller groups. We're talking like 3 kids to an adult. And the reason why we're planning on doing that is so these adults can actually get to know these kids, get to know their life, their struggles, and be able to really speak the truth of God into their lives in a way that those big, huge groups, or a big group like on Sunday right here, that it's a little more difficult to do. With a mentorship, we can really help kids out in a unique way. And so that's what we're going to be doing. Now, what's really cool about this program is it's made to adapt. You see, this program, we can easily start scaling this if we get more and more and more kids. Or if we end up emptying out all the adults and everybody's back there, we can easily start scaling this to include more small group focus, or even something more like on Sundays in here. Now, one thing, though, this means that we're going to need a lot of people. And so we're talking about who can be a mentor. Well, that's anyone who has more experience in their life than a high schooler or a middle schooler. And so if that sounds like you, then I want you to come talk to me, or I will come talk to you, because I need you guys to help me with this program. I need you guys to help me with this. And we don't just need men in there, we need women in there as well. Because let's be honest, I'm going to have a hard time speaking to a young teenage girl who's having young teenage girl problems. I do not understand those problems. So I'm going to need you ladies to come in there as well. Now, you may be wondering, is this all we're doing for youth? No. We're also kickstarting our youth ministry, our youth groups back up as well. Those are going to be starting back up very soon. You're going to be seeing those. I'm going to be posting about those on our Facebook page. Just this week, you're going to be finding out the exact date that those are going to be starting back up. Now, there's the next thing I want to talk to you all about is a little bit about how our community is in an incredible place. See, we have the ability to bring our community together. Our church does. See, this last year, we saw something incredible at Halloween. We had our Halloween event, and if you were there, you probably saw hundreds of kids come through, dozens and dozens of parents and grandparents come with all these different kids. It was awesome. And so many of these parents, they're coming to our other volunteers and coming to people and saying, thank you for having this. It was so great. Our kids got to get out and do something. And it showed me that these people, they desperately want something for their kids to do. They need something safe, something close to home. But also, the thing that I got so disappointed about was we didn't have something that for them to do right after it. We realized that if we start having more events like this, more things where we have our volunteers come in, more fun events like this, that people, they stop seeing church as just a place, they got the Halloween event, they got the Christmas event. It's not just a seasonal place, it's where you go every week. And so this is why this summer we're going to be doing some incredible things. So I want to talk to you a little bit about our summer ministry, our children's summer ministry, because that's where it all starts. So first off, we're going to be having weekly events. That's right, weekly events. Now, most of these weekly events, it could be capture the flag one night. It could be a big, giant water balloon fight one night. These weekly events are going to be a little bit smaller scale. We're expecting to be here maybe an hour at church, maybe a little longer. But these are going to be fun events for all elementary ages. They can come in and just have a great night at church, and we're just going to have a ton of fun. But then we're going to have a bigger monthly event. Now, the monthly events we're having a arts and crafts night where we can build tons of fun things. We'll have a game night. We're going to have tons of planned games all night long. Or we'll have a movie night. But then it's all going to come up to a seasonal event. And the seasonal events will be in August. And that is our VBS. Our VBS, which we have already started planning for. We've already started getting the materials for. And we are absolutely going to need tons of volunteers for all of these things. So even if you feel like you don't know how to teach kids, or you're just nervous about these things, these are great places to learn to see if you got it. Because with all these events, you're going to be there for an hour. You may not be in charge of running an entire group of kids. You could just be handing out the candy, handing out the prizes, running a game. So we need you all here for these events. Now, one other very important thing on this list here is safety. Now, as a former lifeguard, I was one for about 10 years, probably a little too long. But what that means is I learned and really, really started to love safety for kids and for family members, and something that I always look out for. And so I need to make sure that all these kids are safe. So we will absolutely be following safety guidelines, making sure everyone stays healthy and secure when they're here. This is going to be a place that parents, when they think of Dayton Christian Church, they're going to think, okay, this is a great place for my kids, and I know my kids are going to be safe here. Now, something else really important here with Dayton Christian Church that we are starting to move on into is our online ministry. Now, if you know much about kids these days, there is a vast majority of them that are online. They're using websites and places like YouTube to watch videos or to learn new things. They're at places like TikTok where they're watching all sorts of new videos as well. What we've learned today in our world is that kids, they love to create. They love to share. They love to socialize with people everywhere. And so when we go to our old website, when we looked at our area for children's ministry, it was mostly just information for parents. Well, it's useful and great for parents. Unfortunately, it means that there's this huge digital ministry field that's nobody's there. We don't have any workers there. And so what we are going to start building here now is a new digital ministry field for Dayton Christian Church. That means we're going to have a safe place for kids to share, create, and play together. A place that we can start reaching out beyond our city here to more and more people in our world. And so that is just a little bit of a peek into our family ministry and what we are working on at Dayton Christian Church. And remember, if you feel like you can help out in any way, shape, or form, whether you want to help out on Sundays or maybe you want to help out at some of our events in the summer, please come talk to me. I need your help. And if you don't come, I will simply come find you instead. So we'll be talking anyway. All right. I want to thank you all for listening in for a few minutes to me. And now I'm going to pass the mic back off.
You know, the other day, Connor and I were working on our presentations, and he was presenting, and he's talking about safety. He's talking about being a lifeguard for 10 years. And I don't know if anybody else today did that, but I immediately started to think about Connor on Baywatch, running in slow motion with a little red canister in his hands. And I pretty much zoned out the rest of the presentation. So if that was you today, we'll get you the notes. But every week, Connor and I have a chance to sit down, and I just got to tell you, I love just the creativity that he's bringing, and I just hope that you all will take to heart. There is no one-size-fits-all shape for working with youth, working for kids. Our youth in this community have never needed mentors, role models, people that love them and care about them more than now, truly. And so we're making that a huge focus, and I'm excited. I am so excited to see this time next year how far God takes us there. All right, next up, we're going to welcome Vanessa to talk about worship and arts.
Thanks. Oh, hold on. I can do this. All right. I needed something to get prepared to set up and speak. All right. Well, I wanted to welcome you to worship, and clearly it's been a long time since I've used PowerPoint. So that's how I added my sound clip to the beginning of my service, or my part. So anyways, I wanted to welcome you to worship, and I just also wanted to thank all of you for coming here today, listening to all of our plans, and we're really working hard to listen to God and figure out where we're headed, and we're just excited that you're excited. Also, do we have anybody that is like a living thesaurus? Because I think we thank you, David. So, and Joan. So today, we're so excited that we need a new word. So if you could have a new word in your pocket for excited, and you have a new word for excited, keep it ready, because I'm excited. So anyways, thank you for coming and just sharing your desire to worship with us. And every Sunday being able to worship with you is really special. So who am I? Who is this crazy lady up at the front? So my name is Vanessa Brooks, if we haven't met before. And some of these pictures here, what you normally see is me with the guitar, and I'm, doing great. I look like I know what I'm doing. But most of the time, I'm the one up in the upper right-hand corner of what is going on. I don't know what I'm doing. And my goal is to always find somebody else that can do it, because maybe that's their calling. That's something that they're good at. Because I can't do everything. So that's normally me, like, nope, not doing it. Somebody help. So, and then there's also moments when Carl's like, this is how you figure out how to play with your pedal, and that aha moment. So we always hope to bring in people and show them new things, or just share with our experiences so we can pour into each other's lives. So we have some exciting news in our worship team. Our original worship team has expanded. We are now a worship and arts ministry teams. So what does this mean? So we still have our worship band, of course. Thank God for our worship band. And we still have our amazing production team, sound and slides and live stream. Can we give them a round of applause? They do their best every time to make us sound good, and we'll always have roadblocks, but these guys are working so hard to figure out the puzzles as they come. So you guys are amazing. So we'll still have worship, we'll still have our production team, but now we have an arts and design team. And this team consists of stage design, interior design, social media, and branding. So I pray that if God is calling you for any of these things, that you would listen and step into it. And if you take that step, we're ready to do something with that. So our first meeting will be Sunday, February 21st at 12 p.m. So right after whatever time we finish at church. So we will safely provide food options again, just as sandwiches, but we would love to have you there if you're interested in joining. So some schedule updates for our worship team side is we have our worship team practice on Mondays, 6:30 to 8. That's the team that's scheduled to perform to serve on the following Sunday. And then we have now set up open mic nights every Wednesday, same time, 6:30 to 8. So if you have played guitar a long time ago, but it's been sitting in your closet, that's when you bust it out. Or if you've always wanted to sing or wanted to learn piano, anything, whatever you're thinking, or you want to learn sound or slides, please get a hold of me, because we want to make it happen. So that is our day where we can just have fun. And even Carl's been doing guitar lessons. They had an amazing turnout last week. So, if you have any interest in that, please let me know, and we'll try to support you through that. So what I'm very excited about is, there's that excited again. What do you got? Ebullient? I don't even... Joan, whoa. I am ebullient about Worth Youth Worship Band. Oh my goodness. So currently, we don't necessarily have one set up, but you know what? We kind of do. We've got youth that are playing violin, bass. David's been learning drums. It's amazing how far he's come in such a short period of time. So I am very positive about where we're headed with this. The goal is the fifth Sunday of months that have fifth Sundays. We want to try to incorporate our youth as much as possible into our worship service. If they go wild and take off with this, we could do it the last Sunday of every month. But baby steps, so we're working towards that. So if you have any kids that are learning instruments right now and they just want to play and figure out, what's their calling, have them come to open mic nights, and we'll just play, we'll learn songs, and figure out how we can make it happen. So, I don't know. Are you guys excited about that? Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's our next generation. These are our next generation leaders. So any chance we can pour into them, let's make it happen. So the next thing is I wanted to let you know we will be introducing a couple new songs for 2021. And we've really thought hard about them. There's not going to be a ton of new songs, but these are some really special songs, and we think that you'll love them. So, but wait. There's more. She's not even here. I can't even pick on her. So we are introducing green room sessions. And what this is I somehow worked us out of this closet with the help of the team moving all of our equipment. I had this crazy idea. We need more space. So we conquered this room, and now it's ours. And we've been calling it the green room. And somebody put a bug in my ear and said, we should do green room sessions. So in the next month or two, we're going to be updating the room, cleaning it out, and just organizing it, bringing in a couple chairs. And we are going to be doing podcasts. And it's a lot like Pastor Josh's Daily Huddle, except I'm going to do more worship-based podcasts. So I will probably come to Joan or Cindy and just ask you guys things like, what's worship to you, or what's it like out in the field? And then also even reaching out and maybe Zooming with Keith and Kathy in Kenya, and so we can hear, how's worship going out there? And there's just so many possibilities with this podcast. So we're really, really excited for that coming up. Dave, that was you. What you got? Excited. We are so jubilant for the possibilities that we will have with that. But wait, there's more. We have in August the Psalms World Tour concert. And we are so excited for this. Pastor Josh will be doing a 10-week sermon series on the Psalms, 10 Psalms. And we are going to kick off that sermon series with a concert. So keep an ear out, keep an eye out. We'll let you know more as it comes, but it's most likely end of August. So our worship team has a very mighty goal of, you chose 10 Psalms, so we are going to write 10 songs on those 10 Psalms. So we are excited. It may seem like a Goliath right now, but with how many songs Carl has written, I'm not that worried. So we're excited. Maybe pray for us, or if you are a songwriter, come and write with us. I think that would be exciting. So, all right. It is time for some major reveals. The worship website is now accessible on our worship page. Our web page is accessible on the website. And how many people have gone to DaytonChristianChurch.com? Has everybody logged on? Oh, we're going to work on that. We got to work on it. So if you look us up, DaytonChristianChurch.com, and you can see all of our ministries. But since I'm worship, you'll click on the DCC missions or ministries, and you'll see worship underneath there. And please explore throughout. You'll see a little bio on all of our team members and just a lot of our plans that are coming up. So I really encourage for you guys to get on it today. There's so much new content on there. But wait, there's more. So I am so enthused to show you. You got one. I am so delighted to show you our new logo. Is everyone ready to see it? What? Image not found. What? All right, I'm messing with you. So the image is not found because we need your help to create it. So what we're going to do is the arts team will accept all of your ideas, your designs, your sketches, and then we'll pick like the top 4, and then we'll send it out to the whole congregation. We can do a poll, and then we can vote on the new logo. So I highly encourage you to get your kids involved, friends, everybody that you can, and just see what we come up with. So even the kids ministry can end up with a new logo, and then we can have like our adult logo or something. So we could do like a Ryan Seacrest reveal, right? So we are calling it the Battle of the Brands. So we just can't wait to see what y'all come up with. So get started on brainstorming and sketching, and then get back to me. Let me know if you're working on anything, and we can help you out. So to finish this off, I just really, in the past couple of years that I've been serving, I've noticed a couple things, and I've realized that we are all worship leaders. No matter if you're at the door or on the piano or you're washing dishes in the back, we are all worship leaders. We just do it in different ways. So today, we've all kind of thrown different opportunities at you. And if you really feel that God's calling you to serve in any of those areas, we just pray that you take that step and that you're listening. So I've realized also that God has put a song in each one of you, each one of those kids. And our goal as ministry leaders is to just turn up the volume on that. We want to hear the song that God's put inside of you. So I thank you for the opportunity to lead you guys in worship, and I can't wait to see what we'll accomplish in 2021. Thank you.
I have one. I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic about what we are going to be seeing from our worship and arts design team. Battle of the Brands, that sounds like maybe something they'll talk about on February 21st. If I was interested in graphic design, I think I'd go to that meeting. So let's just really quickly recap this. We've got a new children activity happening every single week of the summer, leading up to a huge VBS, which I've already told Connor, if they want to dunk me in a tank or pie me in the face, that's totally appropriate. I'm sure it's in the Bible that pastors should do that from time to time. And so if nothing else, come and be a part of that experience. All these exciting things, from green room sessions to youth worship band. I know that Zoe 2030, she'll be on that team, I'm sure. And then missions, so many opportunities to volunteer in missions, from things that are happening here locally to big just moonshot mission trips like Mohi in 2022. There's just so much. So I don't know. That's a lot of things, right? Right? That sounds like a lot of things. I thought it was a lot of things. Are you guys excited? Good. I've got one more thing to talk about. one more thing to talk about. And it's not small, even though it's in the title. Today we are launching Dayton Christian Church small groups. That's happening today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what these small groups are going to be like. Let's explore, what do Dayton Christian Church small groups look like? How do we do these? Well, they are actually small groups. They are gatherings of 6 to 8 people. No more. We will not allow more than 8 people in a group, so we'll just have to keep having more and more and more and more groups. Every single group is going to use the same study, so we're all going to be going through it together. We hope that this ends up just producing some wonderful conversations and shared experiences between the groups at events like our worship services every week. This is really exciting. This is a challenge. This is a challenge we are throwing out to all of us. Every one of these groups is comprised of 4 of us from the church. Well, wait a minute. I'm not the best at math, but if the groups are 6 to 8, but there's only 4 of us from the church, each group has 4, then that means we have to invite people, right? We want you to use these groups, use these opportunities to invite anywhere from 1 to 4. They could be people who've never been to our church before. They could be people that haven't been here for a while. This is your opportunity in the safest space, quite frankly, possible to introduce someone to the gospel. So I cannot just stress this enough. This ministry is crucial. Couple other things that are important. Each small group season runs for 10 weeks. So this is not ongoing every single week all throughout the year. When we start a small group season, it runs for 10 weeks. We take a break, then we relaunch a new small group season. And that means that the groups change. So the small group that you will find yourself in here when we launch will be different than the small group you find yourself in the fall when we relaunch our second season. And that means we have more opportunities for you to serve in different capacities. So you may want to host during one season, open up your home or open up your space to have one of these groups, or you may want to host online, one of our Zoom or FaceTime groups. You may want to lead. But the important thing is that we are going to have each season a certain amount of weeks, and that way we can reset, and that way we can build new relationships with each other. This is a really big one for people like Sarah and I. Childcare is provided. So, we did our research. I went around, I started asking people, have you ever done a Bible study? Have you ever done this? Or have you ever been involved in anything midweek? And I kept running into, well, I would, but I've got kids. I've got kids that I've got to be. Well, we are going to provide great child care for you. And when you enroll, and if you want to be in one of these small groups, you have to enroll. We're going to have enrollment sheets right at the foyer, or you can go online. We want you to tell us if you need child care. And we need you to list their names and ages so that we can get the appropriate child care and we can pair you in the right group. And we see this as not just a benefit for you guys as you participate in these groups, but Sarah and I have seen the development with Zoe just skyrocket since she's been able to hang out with McCoy and others that are close to her age. So it's kind of a double blessing there. As you kind of picked up on, these are in-person groups, and these are also virtual groups. So all of you online who are probably starting to snooze and be like, oh, he's talking about something that I can't go to, you can absolutely go to one of these. We're going to have FaceTime and Zoom groups, and if you are still living in 2000 or 2005, we'll even do Skype if we absolutely have to. But the important thing is when you enroll, if you're going to be online, if you're going to be joining us online, let us know what your preference is, and you will be getting a call from me so that we can set you up on that. We understand the world that we're living in. So every single one of these groups, I can't stress this enough, every single one of these groups will be able to go virtual overnight if they have to. Assembling together means we have to stay together, and we have been missing that fellowship for too long, and DCC small groups is how we get some of that back. Small groups are impossible without your involvement. We need every single person here to participate, every single person. So we promised you that there would be a place for you to serve in some aspect. And if you've gone through this whole presentation and still have said, I don't know about kids, I don't know about youth, I can't play an instrument, I know nothing about interior design, I got you, because you can participate in this. And you have friends, and you have neighbors, and you have coworkers, and you have people you go to school with. You have people in your life that you can invite to one of these. And people need this. They need this in their lives right now. This is, in my estimation, the most important thing we can offer as a church right now is a ministry like small groups. So this is for you. This is for you. And I can promise you this. It will not succeed if you don't participate. So I can also promise you this. It will succeed if you participate. Do you get that? You see? So enroll. The sheets are ready. It's online. So if you're following online, the moment we end the keynote, you will be able to enroll in that. And we will be announcing the groups, where the group, who meets with who, and what day and time. All of that will be announced on Sunday, February 28th. So a couple other questions you may be asking. I try to anticipate everything. What if I already attend a Bible study? How many of you are currently attending a Bible study that's sponsored in some part by Dayton Christian Church? So a couple hands. And I know some are online. How many of you are involved with youth group or Young Life or something like that when it's in session? Okay. Well, I think that's great, but small groups are different. So we are not going away from those. So sigh of relief. I've already talked to all of your leaders. Sigh of relief. Sunday school is not going away. Bible studies are not going away. These are what we consider Christian education. These are great things to be involved with to get a deeper, more rooted understanding and knowledge of the Bible. Small groups are different. All the different Bible studies are covering different things. Everybody in small groups are going through the same thing. No cap on all our different Bible studies. Our small groups are capped 6 to 8 people. We want more of these groups, and we want them meeting all over Dayton, McMinnville, Lafayette, Yamhill, everywhere. So it's not an either or. It's a both and an and. If you are in a current Bible study, Young Life, youth group, we still want you to be involved in this. In fact, we want every single person to be involved in a small group the same way we would want every single person worshiping in some respect on Sunday. Let's look at something else. Go to the next slide. My schedule. How many of you would think, well, my schedule is really busy? Okay, somebody, thank you. My schedule is really busy. We're going to work with you. We get it. We're going to work with you. So here's the thing. If some of you only have 8 o'clock on a Thursday and there's, 4 or 5 of you that are in that boat, we're going to put an 8 o'clock Thursday group together. If some of you have a 9 a.m. on a Wednesday group and we can have 4 or 5 of you in a group like that to start off, we're going to have a Wednesday at 9 a.m. There's a lot of time throughout the week. There is no limit to how we can organize these groups. That's the beauty and benefit of having many of them across the week. So we will work with you. So when you enroll, there is a question on there that lets you list what days and times. Put down several days, times that you are most available. And again, remember, parents, childcare is provided. And so that shouldn't be a limit to you guys being able to participate. Let's look at another thing. What are we studying? As I said, all of us are going to study the same thing. We thought the most appropriate thing to do in launching small groups is to look at the original pioneer of small groups, and that's the Apostle Paul. So we're going to go on a 10-week incredible journey through his letters, through the book of Acts, and we are going to explore how did the church start? What happened with these first? They were small groups. They were home-based groups. And as we learn about them and as we go through some of the struggles and triumphs they went through, I think we're going to be amazed at what we discover about ourselves, especially this year in ministry. When does this start? It's a pretty big thing. Like, get all of us organized. So probably a few months from now, right? We start in March. Enrollment begins today. You can sign up and enroll online or in the foyer, and we have this whole month to enroll, to get you enrolled. So we want you enrolled by the 21st. We want to announce all the different groups and where you're going to be meeting on the 28th. And that is small groups at Dayton Christian Church. I couldn't be more excited. This is how we are assembling together in our small groups. And we can't wait for you guys to join us. All right? All right. At this time, who has a word? Who has a, I'll just say I'm thrilled. Effervescent. There's an effervescence in the air as I welcome our worship team back up to, they're going to play one of these new songs they're excited to share with us this year.
Do you guys want to stand? You guys should stand. You should totally stand. It's time.
Rick's still assembling himself.
Oh, he's still assembling. Some assembling a choir.
Yeah.
Gotta clap your hands, okay? So they know to follow.
Your cord just fell off your shoulder. Oh.
Technical difficulties.
Oh wait, I don't have it on yet.
Hey.
right, Terry is going to come up and lead us in the business meeting part of our gathering time here.